Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Take It Back Thursday. My name is Renetta Gunn Stevens with Sophisticated Press, and I'm so excited today to bring to you the third part of this four-part series, which is called Take It Back Thursday. And with the Take It Back Thursday, we have been taking back our time, we have been taking back our authority. We also are going to be taking back our finances. But today, we are going to be taking back our confidence. And boy, do I have a treat for you today. I have a special guest. She is phenomenal. She is an author. She is the just a wealth of wisdom. But before I introduce you, introduce my guest. I'm going to call her sister client because she's so much to me. She's just everything to me. Let me show you a snippet of who she is.
In your business, you grow in your expectations of life, you leveling up. You got to level up here too. Stop looking at the so-called things that society tells us is bad. Why do you act a fool? Ask them to ask you what happened to you. When you want to grow.
Wow. It is my honor to bring to the stage Miss Vernessa Mama Thomas, the author of The Secret Behind the Secret of Success. Welcome.
Having me, I truly appreciate it. It's just wonderful to spend time with you, Renetta. You're like a daughter to me.
Yes, and I just so appreciate you just for being available today to talk about this great subject of taking back your confidence, because I believe that confidence is one of the characteristics that a lot of people are missing. And if they can maybe just gain back their confidence, then they will be able to see some more results in their life that they're hoping for and that they're desiring and that they really like and comment and follow other people for having. We want them to have them. So I said, who do I know that I just ooze confidence? And Vernessa Thomas came up in my mind. And then I thought about your book, the secret behind the secret behind the secret of success. And so can you tell the audience who Vernessa Thomas is?
Man, a young lady that came from humble backgrounds, grew up in one of the worst parts of Chicago's South Side. But it was in that environment that I said there has to be more.
Yeah.
Sometimes we don't have a role model. Sometimes we just feel it in our gut.
Mm-hmm.
I want more. There's something more. I don't know what it is, but I know that I don't want to inherit this life that I've been born into.
Mm.
And that starts it. That starts the idea. And then now you're looking different at everything because you're looking for a way to change your narrative.
Yeah.
Sometimes terrible things happen to us and we close off from the world. It happened to me. I think I was about 10, maybe 11. It was so horrific. I don't really remember all the details of it. But I remember getting sexually assaulted, taken to the hospital, and then taken out for ice cream and told, we're not talking about this. It was a level of shame, but what they didn't understand is that my body kept the score, and I always had this anxiety. But that fear and anxiety that almost crippled me became my superpower. found myself pregnant at 17. I was a good student, but now I got a kid coming. What am I to do? Because I barely survived 43rd Street because I was a family of 14. My mom had 11 daughters and 3 sons. I had a measure of protection, but I knew this unborn child wouldn't. So if we don't have the right stimulus, sometimes the pain and the agony of our lives are enough to give us the impetus for change. Not knowing, Red, what I wanted out of life, I could clearly look around at all the people and see that that wasn't the life that I desired. That was not the life that was going to give me peace, safety for my unborn kid.
Yeah.
So I call it this: addition by subtraction. Addition by subtraction. I added to my positivity by subtracting all the things that I knew would keep me where I needed to be, to keep me where I grew up to be, that there will be no change if I did not subtract and turn away from all those things that would lead me to stay where I was stuck. So, ladies, gentlemen, whoever's listening, you don't have to know what it is, but you have to be certain, for damn sure, of what you don't want. And I promise you, the heavens will lead you right into it. That thing that almost broke me was the impetus for the success and the ability to change the world that my son would be born into.
Wow. Now that is amazing. Like we got to break that thing down because you listed 3 major things that could have easily wiped your confidence out for a lifetime. Just one of them could have, right? So you were sexually assaulted at 10. Then you had a teenage pregnancy.
Yes.
And then you were a part of a family of 14 that
Yes.
was on the south side of Chicago, which that in itself is on 43rd is not a one of the greatest communities at that time to live in. But you just also introduced a strategy of addition by subtraction.
Yes.
Wow. So you said you added to yourself and your value by subtracting the things that was keeping you stuck.
Correct. I mean, and it's a crazy formula. But when we grow up in this pot and we're all steeped in it, it's so easy to, if you got a pot of red dye, you're going to be red. But I decided to crawl out of that basket, isolate myself, and become an outlier, if you will, and laughed at because I wasn't like the crowd. But I knew if I stayed in the crowd, I would not only have my son, I would have other kids and no future. I was raised on welfare, and I'm not putting it down because it saved our lives. But I wanted my kid not to have to do some of the things I did coming up in poverty. I mean, we were thieves. We did everything we could to have the basics.
Yeah.
And I couldn't see where most of those people, whether they were doing illegal stuff, stealing, whatever, even when they were great, it came to an end because it's not something sustainable.
Yeah.
What could I do different? So I got kicked out of school, but I went back and I graduated. And I got a skill. Didn't go to college. I learned a skill that would keep me from having to go on the welfare road. All the hardships really were the impetus and can be the impetus for change. You
Yeah.
don't have to be broken down. I could have, like you said, easily been broken down. I got
Yeah.
14 kids. All I know is welfare and lack.
Mhm. Mhm.
I'm bringing this child in the world, and we have to ask ourselves, if you hate it so much, and who doesn't hate that life,
Right.
would you not figure out how you can make a change so that your babies don't have to suffer like you suffered? So your baby won't have to steal and do illegal things just to have the bare necessities that the welfare just it don't provide.
Right. Right.
I man, when you start on that journey, I'm going to tell you guys, and you better believe it. We operate on a frequency.
Mhm. Mhm.
And as I struggled and cried out to the heavens, God, please help me because I don't have nobody. I don't have a muse. Help me. And people came forth and they helped me.
Yeah.
God, I am so grateful, but we have to plead our case to the heavens.
Yeah.
Find people that are one step ahead.
Mhm.
Be open to ask. You know, being poor, you're prideful. I don't want people to know. No, honey, tell the world I need help. I want out of here. How do I
Yeah.
do it?
Yeah. So it sounds like the first thing that you need to do to take back your confidence is make a decision that you no longer want to have low confidence about yourself, your situation.
Correct. You cannot move forward without the ability to believe, and hope is the substance of things not seen.
Right.
I had never seen any success, but the hope that I could do it, I was confident.
My God.
And the confidence when I fell down, because you will, it's like this is just I ain't gonna get the straight path to where I want to go. It's gonna be jagged and raggedy and twisty and turny, and that's okay. Every
Mhm.
time you fall, you learn a lesson, and eventually, not only will you get to where you're you move from striving to thriving.
Yeah. So let's talk about so the and after you make that decision, the next thing is to affirm your strengths, which you did by getting a skill set, right? Um, what was that skill set that you got?
Well, when I was in high school, I had I'd gone to Dunbar Vocational, so I
Mhm.
had a certification in printing,
Mm.
and I started off working in the binderies to prove myself. It's kind of like doing apprentice. Life is apprentice. And finally, at some point, you get your journeyman's card. But you got to put in the work. And that's in all disciplines as well, not just life. If you're a
Yes.
psychologist, you got to put in 10,000 hours. Nothing is easy and free. It's sweat equity.
Sweat equity. Let's
I
go.
mean, it's real. When you're
Mhm.
young, you want help.
Mhm.
But sometimes that help is what's going to cripple you because it's nothing like being on your own, hungry, broke, and not knowing what to do, that you dig in and you find your strengths. But if we find ourselves, like for instance, on welfare, we know how much we're going to get, we know what type of life, but there is no room for growth there.
Mhm.
It's hard
Mhm.
to get off welfare. I was on it. I had my son through it. I was grateful. But it's so limiting, these small time jobs that are just barely what do they call it, legal. They pay a minimum wage. There are so
Mhm.
many skills that we can get. We can be a phlebotomist, we can be a certified nurse assistant. It's so much in the computer sciences that a simple certification will allow us to have a better life for ourselves and our kids. And not only that, when they see us struggle, our kids, they
Mhm.
understand what hard work is because they see the fruits of our
Yeah.
labor.
Yeah.
So
So
we're
let's
testing. Yes, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
no, I love it. I love it because you just rivers of wisdom, a
Thank
river of strategy, And that's why it was so important for me to have you before my audience, and so we can get this wisdom. We can get the action steps that's needed. So
Yes.
let's talk about taking action despite the fear at that time of being a teenage mother, a victim of being sexually assaulted. You still took actions and your confidence grew through the action. So you got the skill set. And you are Mama Thomas, I call her Mama Thomas, but Vernessa Thomas has a book out. You have to get this book. We're going to be putting the link in. We want you to get it because this book tells her full story, and she's vulnerable with her full story. But once you have your son, what was the small steps that you took to begin to make that better life after getting your skill set for him?
Well, one of the things I really had to do was look at the relationships that I was in. They
Mm,
can make or break you. I wasn't in a healthy relationship with his father. I realized that I had chose him or any man because I was lonely
mm-hmm.
and I didn't know what to do with myself. So I looked at the relationship I got, how did it serve me? And it
Yeah.
did. And it wasn't just the baby. He was young too, but
Mm-hmm.
it was nothing that was going to lead to anything stable. I'd seen that in my mom's life.
Mm-hmm.
And I did not want my son to be in a situation where I was having multiple kids. I
Mm-hmm.
was not in a good place to have him. So I protected myself so that I wouldn't have another child until I could afford to have a child or if it was the right time.
Yes.
So
Mm-hmm.
I had to be lonely because I was just giving myself away and not getting anything that was going to help me be a better person, a better parent.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to look at why we're in these relationships. Is it because it's a habit? That's what I always saw. But I saw the manifestation of those unhealthy relationships. And that was one of the generational norms that I knew I had to change.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, your story is so relatable, and it's so needed because you talk about how you, and what I like about your story and what you're saying today, you're taking full accountability,
Yes.
ability, because you could easily say, well, because of this and because of that and because of this, I have a right to be stuck. I have a right to have low self-esteem. I have a right not to go for my dream, start the business, encourage my children to do better than me. Like I have a right. You could easily be a victim and you would be validated to be that, but you dug deep and found confidence to say my latter days will be better. And that's what I love about your story, and I'm so proud of you for putting it in the book because so many people are tormented by their story, and they don't share it, and that's the very thing that they need to do, is
Yes.
share their story so that it can encourage somebody else. And that's it. Every time you say a step that you made, it leads us to the next step of regaining your confidence, which is surround yourself with encouragement, surround yourself with positive people. Any relationships that you have in your life that's not suitable for where you're going and where you're trying to go in life, you have to have the confidence to break free from those relationships regardless of who it is,
Yes, you do.
regard, regardless of the proximity of the relationship. If it's a cancer, it has to be plucked out or it
Yes.
will kill you, literally. And everything that you try to work on, it will take you out from stress. It will take you out from sometimes just being a victim of association. These relationships that people are in, I really do think is one of the greatest reasons why they are stuck, because I always say, if you see me being average, please don't allow me to be average in your presence. Because, like, if I see someone and I know that they can do better, I would want to encourage them to do better.
We should.
We should. We should. If you have a friend that has a business or a book, you should be supporting it. You should be speaking life into them. But the problem is, like you said, sometimes out of loneliness, we'll
Yeah.
take whatever's around,
Yeah.
whatever is available.
Oh, yeah. And they will prey on you. I
Yeah.
remember a guy who was trying to talk to me. But I had some weird, how do I say, uh, intellect. I remember
Mm-hmm.
my mom before she got with my stepfather, he would always bring us gifts.
Mm-hmm.
And so my mom thought that was great because it was something that she couldn't give us. But
Right.
what I found out a lot of time is really manipulation. So
Mm.
once they would be with my mom, then they would show their true self, but they would get us engaged like, oh, we like him. So one thing, if a man brought a gift to my son, that was
Mm-hmm.
a red flag. I tell him one
Mm.
time, don't bring gifts. Don't do that. You're not his father.
Right. Mm. That's
Because I want
wise.
to see if you are really honest.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This same guy, he wanted to get married. And I think he knew I didn't want to be a single mom. I had the shame. You're talking about 1970. It was a different world.
Yeah.
But what he was going to do was marry me because I was in my brokenness, but he was a control freak and he wanted to control my paycheck and everything so we could save. Well, I ran to the hills. I'd rather be alone than to have another person under controlling me and controlling my son. It took
Yeah.
time. But ladies, we have to be so careful because there are so many manipulative people that
Yeah.
are in your life. Sometimes your own family doesn't want to see you grow. But
Yeah.
once you break away and you see, oh my God, I have to fight anyway. Why not fight for the better life?
Yeah.
If you're
Yeah.
broken, busted, you're fighting every day, scrapping, uh, trying to get a hookup here, there. Take that same energy and have that better life. It's there.
Mm-hmm.
When
Mm-hmm.
people see you trying, girl, I would not be where I am without the people who said, you know what, she really trying. Let me give her a tip. Let me give
Yeah.
her a resource. Let me give her a hand. Let me encourage her. They
Yeah.
are there. Instead of that person saying, girl, why would you get a job? You gonna get on Section 8. Well, look around at the government now. The government is not on people struggling inside, and it's gonna be
Right.
ugly. This is an opportunity of a hardship that's going to turn into a gem that's going to allow
Yeah.
you not to have to depend on nobody in order to feed your kid, to have
Yeah.
that life you want.
Yeah. I love that. And we have put the link to Vernessa Thomas' book in the comments. You want to make sure that you get her book. It's called The Secret Behind the Secret to Success. I love it. I love it. It's a wonderful book. When I tell you it's a page turner, when you open that book, you're going to hear a real story. And that's what we need. We need people that tell us the truth and
Yeah,
don't water it down. We need straight no chaser. And
that's
that's what
right.
she gives us. She gives it to
Yes,
us.
ma'am. Straight up.
No chaser, right? And I love that because that way you can get the lessons that you need to get without having trying to read between the lines. So she lay it all on the floor and let you know this is what it is and this is my story and this is how I navigate it. And what I love about it is you said that the hard time is going to result in some gems if you understand that through every loss or every season or every hard time there is a lesson, there is a blessing. And one of my coaches used to always say never waste a crisis, never waste. Like you make the crisis pay. You make that
That's right.
situation and you turn it into something good no matter what. Like they say, when life give you lemons, you make some good lemonade.
Good, sweet lemonade.
Put
Okay.
some mint in that lemonade, a mint leaf in that lemonade, right? Like you
You got
make
that
it.
right. Boil that sugar so it's nice and dissolved and sweet. And it's
Yes,
real. You're crying anyway. Cry and move on. That
yes,
lesson to say, I don't want to ever experience this poverty is the impetus to you not having poverty. And I'm going
yes,
to tell you, ladies, in my book, for every season that I went through, I have a whole list of appropriate lesson learned.
yes,
These are some real gems. I mean, I came from the low end on the south side, but I
yes,
promise you, all of that, it didn't break me and it shouldn't break you. You got valuable, valuable insight
yes,
from being in that harsh environment. And those same skill sets, you can use it to rise up in a way that you didn't think possible.
yes, absolutely, absolutely. And we would be remiss if we just didn't mention it at least one time that you have how many children?
I
I think
have three.
you have three children, and they're beautiful, all successful in their own right. But you are the mother of Dr. Eric Thomas, who is the number one motivational speaker in the world. I've actually taken his coaching program called Game Changers. They now have a new speaking program. But when you just see how, because of your tenacity, because of your strength and your confidence, you was able to create a better life for all of your children, and they
Yes.
all are gems in their own right. And so as we begin to close, I just want you to talk to that person who right now they're going through it like how you went through it. Their trust has been forfeited in someone. They have been abused. They have maybe disappointed and became pregnant at a young age or committed a crime at a young age. But you are someone who went through that, and in the end, there was a silver lining. Can you just talk to that person to tell them to take their confidence back and don't give up, because in the end, it gets greater?
Yes. All the pain and the disappointments. I mean, all the things that we've been through. How we got through it. That's the first thing. So what you got to understand, you're not a victim. You got these skills. You just got to put them to work.
Mm-hmm.
When I was stealing, for instance, I realized I had a gift for gab. I walked out of the store with the stuff after getting caught because I flipped the switch on the person who she was right. Those gifts that we got are confidence and swagger. Those gifts, they are they are worth more than gold. It was
Yeah,
that confidence, even though I had nothing, that I was fronting at first, but at some point it becomes who you are.
yeah,
And at the same time, because you come from nothing, if you have a setback, you still further ahead than where you started. So
yeah,
don't get mad and say, "Damn, I fell back." That's another lesson learned in that, because life is a ladder. Each time you get on a higher rung, you can see further. But you got to do your work to get to that first rung, second rung. Then you're at the top of that ladder. Like
yes.
my son, he came up. I didn't have nothing, but I exposed him to the lake. We go to Grand Park. I gave him books.
Mhm,
You can be broke, but it's so much free that you can use to give your kids something. Not
mhm,
stuff like the Nintendo or whatever is popular.
mhm.
Life.
Yeah.
Give them exposure to life. The
Mm,
more they see, the more options they have. When you
mhm.
don't get off the block, you won't understand what I'm saying. I have 14 brothers and sisters, but that calamity that happened to me, it put me in a state of rejection from everybody because now I'm tainted. And it was
Wow.
in that worst time of my life that I
Mhm,
saw through books that everybody don't live like this.
mm.
So use that hardship as motivation, as an impetus, as power to get on the other side of that, to go from surviving to thriving. You can.
Yes. And what I love about what you just said is you can go from surviving to thriving. And I also want to share that Vernessa Thomas is a part of our Sophisticated Press magazine. You can actually see her full story. Well, not her full story, because that's a whole series, that's a whole movie, right? But we are putting the link also to Sophisticated Press magazine. She is our feature author for the Mother's Day issue, and we go deep and ask her questions, and she talks some more about her story. There's also a QR code in the magazine for you to purchase her book. But let me tell you what you really need to do. If you're having a women's conference, if you're having an empowerment conference for men or women, you need Vernessa Thomas on your stage as a keynote speaker. Because I'm telling you that the wisdom and the intelligence that she has, your organization needs to hear. Your niche market needs to hear. Because just by talking to her in candid conversations on the phone, I've been able to grow as a leader, as a mom, as a wife, as a daughter, right? And we have to begin, we live in a world where now they want young and thin, and but we need real wisdom.
Yes.
We need real strategies. And that comes from people who have done it. I heard a older person that was older than me say, I've been your age before. Have you been my age?
Okay.
And
There.
that brought it home. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
we be going to get wisdom and strategies and techniques from people who's in our same age bracket, but we need to go a little bit higher. We need to go to the ones that has been somewhere that we ain't been yet, and that we have to go to.
You're right. Because they're on a higher rung, they've had some experience. They can show you some shortcuts to life. You
Come
don't
on.
have to do it the way I did it. Here, I'm going to show you how I did it wrong, but here's how you can step over that part and get to where you want to go way sooner.
Yes.
Way
And,
sooner.
and every time I get off the phone with you, I'm better. Not bitter, not stressed from all the bad. Some people call you and you just need a whole vacation after that phone call. But every time I get off the phone with you, I'm better. I'm
See, and
sharper.
that's our role as women, especially. We have to, everybody that comes in our contact, we should make them better based
Yes.
on our wisdom, our mistakes, our hardships. It's all a circle. If only
Hmm.
women would do that more,
Yeah.
this world, we would all be sitting at this gorgeous table. Because the table, if it ain't big enough, we put another leaf in it. We
Hmm.
got to take care
Hmm.
of one another. And I am currently doing a podcast with two other ladies, and it's called She's Living Lighter. Man,
Mm.
our theme song is Erica Badu, Bag Lady.
Come on.
Why are we carrying all these bags that are not ours to carry? And we're
Yeah.
teaching through this podcast. It's free. It's on Facebook. She's
Yeah.
Living Lighter. How we can take a load off of us, because as women, my God, we don't even know who we are because we're so many things for other people. But yeah, we need to live.
Yeah, we have our TikTok fans going. The smoothest DJ from TikTok. He is showing love on TikTok. Everyone is showing love in our community. I look
Wow.
forward to supporting you in the future. Again, you all, we have placed the link to her book in the comments. We've also placed the link to the Sophisticated Press magazine, where she is our feature author. And also, you can, through those links, be able to contact her, leave her a note when you're checking out on the book purchase. If you're having an event, to inquire about how to book her for the stage. Thank you so much, Mama Thomas, for gracing my platform and teaching us today how to take back our confidence. It's always a pleasure. And until we meet again, thank you all so much for tuning in today. Have a
And thank
wonderful.
you so much for having me. I truly love being on your show.
Thank you. Talk soon.
Talk soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.